Hi, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to my channel. It is Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. I am so glad to have you here. And I'm really excited because this is going to be, again, an interactive chat. So we're going to go through and talk about what I have to share. And then at the end, I'll let you guys give me some comments and I'll share the ones that I believe are the best. Maybe, or that I just happened to see. All right, you guys, we have on this channel covered the show TLC called Unexpected. The show is sort of like Teen Mom, except this show doesn't follow the same mothers every single season. And each season, there can be new people added. Some continue on and are seen in multiple seasons. You know that Michaela Adkins and Kaylin Morrison were seen multiple times. Both of their children were a part of the show. And we had this last season, the addition of Hailey Tilford or Hailey Tomlinson, as she was getting ready to have her child, Kinsley. Now, interestingly, it's Kinsley's birthday today. So Kinsley actually just turned 1 year old. So happy birthday, Kinsley. Interesting as well that earlier today, there was a lot of people wishing her a happy birthday, including Hailey number 2. She said, "Happy birthday, Kinsley. I can't believe you're already 1. I have grown to love you so much. You're the sweetest little girl with such a bubbly personality. I'm so blessed I have got to be a part of your life and watch you grow. Your mommy definitely did an amazing job bringing you into this world and raising you. I hope you have a fun day, baby girl. Me and your brother are sending you so much love today." So a very sweet, exciting, message from Hailey number 2 to her son's sibling. Okay, so hold on one second. I don't know what is going on with these notifications. I don't know if people are not being notified right now. This is odd. This is bizarre. Okay, anyways, there's people watching on Facebook too right now. Either way, last week, she actually welcomed Levi into the world. So it's been a very, very busy week for these two mamas. And she welcomed Levi last week. She delivered him after being in the hospital for I don't know. It seemed like she was in for quite some time, but I'm really not sure. And then she went ahead and shared photos of him on Instagram. Now, what I thought was really sweet was she announced the birth, and she said after 38 hours of being in the hospital, 15 hours of labor and unbearable pain, Levi Carter Tilford made his arrival into this world on April 2nd, 2020. So he's actually 1 week old today at 1:14 p.m., weighing around 5 pounds, 13 and a half ounces. That's a tiny little boy. The love mommy has for you can't even begin to describe the words. You complete me, baby. And then you see here, Hailey number 1, Hailey Tomlinson says, "You did a good job. He's so cute. And I can't wait for Kinsley to meet him." So these two have been going back and forth and supporting one another, which is actually amazing to see. Both of these ladies have the same baby's father, and it is, I don't know, he's adorable. Now, earlier today, I actually interviewed and spoke with Hailey number 1. Now, I should also note that Matthew Blevins is apparently not too interested in what's going on with Levi because he shared this on Instagram, and this actually had, "I'll never love anyone or anything more than my baby girl." Yeah, he really did write that. He's not making the best example here in the world, let's just say. Okay, so I spoke with Hailey earlier today, and we spoke over on Instagram chat. And during that conversation, I reached out to her to let her know that I was really excited to see that she was, building some bridges and getting more further along in her friendship with Hailey number one. And I said, girl, I'm so damn proud of you. Congratulations on Levi's arrival and putting your differences aside with Hailey and being the amazing mom, woman I know you can be. And she said, thank you so much. I've come a long way. From where I'm at. And I said, how has your first week been? And she said, hard and stressful, but it's amazing to have my baby finally here. He gives me purpose. Why does this keep doing this? He gives me purpose. I never knew it was possible to feel love like this. And then I said, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? The moment you come out, it's like this overwhelming love. And she said, yes, it has. And she said, yes, it was love at first sight. I can't imagine my life without him. He saved me. And I said, I love to hear this. I said, how have the comments been? Is the hate calming down? Because if you remember, she got a lot of hate at the end of the season because everyone said that she actually stole Matthew from Hailey, which every one of them has denied. There wasn't any, according to them, any cheating going on in this situation. And she said, I hardly get any hate anymore, and I mainly get hate on those Facebook unexpected pages, but oh well. Now, there is an unfiltered page that can be pretty ruthless, and I will say, in general, not the kindest to this cast. They don't seem to care, and they're unfiltered, and they don't have a problem going after the kids either, which is unfortunate. Then I said, what's the status with Matthew? Has he seen the baby? And she said, no, he's denying him and said he will not claim him until he gets a DNA test. And I said, what? Does he even have a reason to doubt? And she said, he thinks so, but if you're asking me, no, he has no reason to doubt, and he thinks I've cheated on him, but I never did. Levi is 110% his. So can you imagine like being a young mother and like having your first child, and your baby's daddy is basically saying, just kidding, honey. That is not my child. That did not happen. I think Matthew is just, I'm really glad that the two Haileys have put their differences aside, but it really bothers me that this man who is barely in his life of his daughter is now denying that Hailey is the mother or is the father, or he's the father of Hailey's baby. When they were together, he was like all about it. And when they were dating and when they were on the show, they were both so excited. He posted about how he couldn't wait to meet him. He was over the moon. And now he's like, he's not mine. She said, and then I asked her if she has actually had a chance to meet, if Kinsley's had a chance to meet her brother. And she said, not yet due to the virus stuff. And I said, oh, I forgot about that for a second. I know, you guys, I forgot about it for a second. Which made me remember, were you nervous to be in the hospital? And she said, I was nervous for a lot of reasons, though. I was nervous over the virus, something being wrong with him when he was born, doing it with only one person there, not being able to have my family there, Matthew not being there to see his son to be born. I had so much anxiety. So hospitals have had to reduce the number of visitors. There's been strict guidelines about who can come in and out, which means that typical birth is been interrupted and visitors are not allowed at a lot of hospitals right now. So while shortly after the birth happens, people that would normally have visited weren't able to go see, which is kind of sad. If you think about it, this is a really big day and you kind of forget how much this impacts and changes things for so many people. And then she said, I said, that's awful. It makes an exciting moment so scary. And she said, very, but once I saw him, it was all worth it. So she is doing everything she can, raising her son, but I'm just happy to see these two young women supporting each other. Matthew does not have a relationship with either one of these mothers. He's not in a relationship with either one of them. He obviously has a semi-relationship with Kinsley. I don't know how frequently he actually sees Kinsley. Kinsley's birthday is today, so she just turned 1 year old. Hailey Tomlinson actually did a very sweet cute birthday wish to her, as well as Matthew. Matthew actually said happy birthday to his daughter. And then, trying to see here. When one of her friends pointed out that the baby looks just like Matthew, she said, "Ha, right, tell him that, please, because for some reason he doesn't believe so." I feel like he's doing this to punish her for some reason. It doesn't make any sense. Like, he said that she cheated on him, but it's really unfortunate that he would treat someone this way. I mean, a lot of people warned her about him and said, he's already done this to Hailey number 1. He could very well do this to Hailey number 2. And, in some regards, yes, but you can't, here we are today, right? We can't undo the past. We can't change what happened. We can only hope that things would get better in the future. And we do, as mothers and women, need to support other mothers and women who have children, especially young mothers. They need so much support. And I'm so glad to hear that her family is supporting her during this time and offering her a ton of help. I'm hopeful that he'll be able to grow up in a house filled with love, and it won't matter what happens with daddy. But I also hope, for Matthew's sake, that he gets it together. I mean, listen, he's young, so I don't want to excuse it, but he's young. This happens a lot, unfortunately, with young fathers. They just don't care. They're not mature enough. They don't want to deal with it. And that's just too bad. And then all of it ends up falling on the mother to deal with. And that's not fair to the mothers either. Michelle actually says women support each other. And I love that. I love that about these two girls, because they were really good friends, not best friends, but definitely good friends, or becoming better friends. And, unfortunately, this did not, end well for them to have with the boys. But, and Diane says they do need support, and they do. They need support from fans. They need support from, everyone. And these, I will say, as a whole, and I've said this repeatedly, the cast from Unexpected has been by far so easily accessible to me, so kind, so willing to speak out, so willing to share their stories. They're not above interacting with people on their social media and responding to people. It's starkly different than what we see with the Teen Mom girls, who refuse to really talk to anyone about anything unless they're getting paid. But this group doesn't seem to care about that. They really just want to share their stories and talk about things. And, they are I don't know if they have better heads on their shoulders, if they haven't been famous as long, but they're not entitled. I'll say that. Now, Rector Laura says, I think that these young mothers are better off leaving the dad of the birth certificate off the birth certificate, like Chelsea from Teen Mom. He did nothing but show up later and cause trouble. Well, technically, in a state, if a child is born outside of wedlock, I know that sounds so ridiculous, but if a mother is not married in a state when the child is delivered, it's automatically assumed, obviously, that she has full custody of the child. And it's up to the mother as to whether or not she includes the father on the birth certificate. And typically, if you include the father on the birth certificate, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to get the DNA testing. But in this case, I don't know what she did. I didn't ask her. I didn't go there. But, Alice Starr says he can't make the excuse that he's young. There are young men who man up and take care of their kids, and he sounds like he's trying to worm his way out of parenting. That's very true, too. There is plenty of young men that stand up and do the right things and take care of their kids. I absolutely agree with you. White Rose says, I wonder how Matthew will pay child support. This is an incredibly good question. I have no idea, White Rose. I have no idea. I don't even know what he does. I don't even know if he's still in school, to be honest. I don't really know a whole lot of anything about what's going on here. Jesse Bear says, I know in my state, the dad has to sign the birth certificate if unmarried. And I don't, where's Jesse? Jesse is in Pennsylvania. So I'm not sure what the state requirements are. I believe they are all in Ohio. No, not in Ohio, Kentucky. They're in Kentucky. So I'm not sure what the requirements are in the state of Kentucky. All right. So, what are your thoughts about Matthew making this way more difficult than it needs to be? Knowing that while he was on the reunion, he was professing his love for her, talking about what a great mother she was going to be, what a great person she is, and what this will actually, like, why he suddenly has changed his story. I, for my part, believe Hailey. And I have had an opportunity to speak and get to know her over the last, I don't know, since the show, the reunion was like in September. And that's when I started talking with her. She's always been very open, very honest about her mistakes, willing to say she's made bad choices, but at the same time, sort of remain consistent with what her goals are and what she wants for her life. So I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Leave me some comments below. Michelle says, I believe her. And I do too. I absolutely believe her. And Michelle also says that Matthew is a man baby. Hey, if it walks like one and it talks like one, if it cries like one, that's what it is. All right, you guys, I'll be back later with more. I actually had a chance to speak to Mackenzie Edwards, Ryan Edwards' wife, after she posted a video on Instagram asking people to paint their nails purple. And you'll be surprised on her thoughts about the girls from Teen Mom OG supporting Amber. Bye.